Hi, this is Dennis Gage. Thanks for tuning in to My Classic Car, home of the certified car nut. On today's show, you'll see the intense passion that people have for America's sports car, the Corvette. Behind me, Corvette enthusiasts from around the world are arriving at the National Corvette Museum for the Corvette Caravan and Celebration. In an amazing display of horsepower, over 5,000 Corvettes are expected to make the pilgrimage to Bowling Green, Kentucky, home of the Corvette. And once the vets arrive, the festivities continue with 4 days of fun and excitement. Joining me now is Wendell Strode, Executive Director of the National Corvette Museum. Wendell, nice place you got here.
Thank you. It is a great 68,000 square feet, 55 acres, all loaded with Corvettes today.
Man, now you got them coming in from everywhere, and this is kind of choreographed too, isn't it?
Well, it's been an effort that's taken about almost 2 years to put together. We had 14 originating points that we started the different caravan routes. And right now we're approaching 5,000 Corvettes. It's a part of this. That was as of day before yesterday. We could bid 6,000 by now.
Oh man, and every state in the Union?
Every state except North Dakota was represented. And we had about 200 people registered in Louisville last night. I'm hoping one of those at least is from North Dakota.
You know there'll be one from North Dakota.
Absolutely.
Now this is also, you do this every year, but this is a special year for the museum.
Absolutely. This is our 5th anniversary. Great time. We've had just wonderful participation with Corvette clubs and Corvette enthusiasts throughout the world, and we've got 16 countries represented. Just unbelievable.
What all goes on over these 4 days?
We'll have opening ceremonies today with some skydivers, some special ceremonies around that. We'll have 11 museum deliveries. We've got seminars, we've got drag racing, we've got autocrossing, we've got vendors set up. We'll have a celebrity fun show, just a tremendous festival for Corvettes and Corvette enthusiasts.
Well, you got me all fired up. I got to get around and check this stuff out. Wendell, thanks so much for having us here.
Our pleasure.
This year's National Corvette Caravan and Celebration was a record-setting event with over 5,000 vets converging on the Corvette capital of the world. In 1982, Corvette assembly was moved here to Bowling Green from St. Louis. What followed was an epidemic, of Corvette fever that is. Every year, Corvettes from around the world bring their owners back home to where America's sports car has been rumbling to life for nearly 2 decades. Well, now, Dave, this is truly an honor. I'm in very elite company here. You are the 3rd chief engineer of the Corvette, right?
Indeed, and when you come to an outing like this, it's pretty staggering, the amount of following that this mark has today, and the enthusiasm of people that turn out and celebrate their association with the Corvette.
Well, now you have been chief engineer since
92.
92, and the C5, you came into that program, it's mostly yours.
Well, there were some really wonderful concepts created in the Dave McClellan era, but the corporation was in kind of dire straits. There was really not enough funding to ever having built a car. So that's what we came into, kind of an unhealthy time in General Motors, but with help from Jim Perkins, who was a big benefactor of the Corvette.
You made a real healthy car out of it.
Put together a little money and build a one-off car, and with that car we were able to sell the program to General Motors, and we've been building cars since '97 and sold every one.
Many of these cars met their owners right here at the National Corvette Museum. Since 1995, over 1,000 enthusiasts have taken advantage of option R8C, allowing them to take delivery here and join a very select group of Corvette owners. Mike, Bonnie, is this cool or what?
Yes, it is.
A 2000 Vet picked up at the museum.
It's great.
So what is it about a Vet? Why'd you have to have one?
It's in my blood.
It's in your blood. Have you ever had one before?
Yes, sir.
Just had to have another one.
Had to have another.
Is it the coolest car in the world?
Yes, it is.
And picking it up here was?
Great.
While some of these beauties will never be driven, others will be put to the test. During the Labor Day weekend celebration, Corvette owners have the chance to wrap themselves in fiberglass, put the pedal to the floor, and find out what redlining really means. At the Beach Bend Raceway Park, a controlled course tempts owners with the opportunity for autocross and drag racing. This is one time when you don't have to worry about flashing lights in your rearview mirror. With over 5,000 Corvettes, it wasn't hard to find owners who wanted to talk about their pride and joy. Mike, this is a beautiful 67 coupe. I always felt that the C2 design was one of the most distinctive vet designs ever. And it's gorgeous, but the cool story is this was your first new car. You're the original owner.
Correct.
Now, had you always wanted one, or?
Yeah, I always wanted one, but I lived in St. Louis went to school, technical school for a year after I graduated. And I just went to the dealers every week to see what they had, drive by the plant to see the cars sitting there.
Drool.
And then I came home from school. I ordered from the Chevrolet dealer that I worked for.
So you bought it where?
Hicks Chevrolet in Greencastle, Pennsylvania.
And how many miles do you have on it?
33,000.
So did you buy it as a collectible, or did you ever use it?
I used it for about 4 years.
Well, it's in beautiful original condition, and you actually say it's even got the original tires.
Original tires and wheels.
And you got side pipes on it, and from an interior standpoint, what other options did you get?
Just a close ratio 4-speed, a telescopic steering column, 355 posi axle, and AM/FM radio.
But you also got the big block. You got a 427 under the hood, and this was the hood for the 427 cars, right?
Right.
So did you get the big one with the triangle air cleaner?
No, I got the small one.
The small 427. Oh, geez. So only 390 horsepower.
390.
What a pity. Engine compartment's great too. Now, do you drive it at all?
Yes.
Occasionally.
I put some other wheels and radial tires on to drive it.
So you can take it out and about.
Right.
Well, it is beautiful. You know, I wouldn't actually mind going for riding it sometime with you.
Anytime.
All right, Mike, it is beautiful. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much. Brian, a 96 C4 collector's edition. Last year for the C4, right?
That's correct.
All right, now, what made it a collector's edition car?
There were, it was a specific option that Chevrolet offered that included the Sebring silver paint. It was only available on the collector edition, along with some collector edition logos, which were badging that was very specific. And it was offered in 3 interior color trim options: silver, black, and torch red.
And you got the torch red, obviously. Now this thing it's a beautiful car to begin with, but you've tricked it up a little bit. What all you done?
Well, I've made a few modifications on the exterior. I've added a few chrome pieces, just about anywhere that you could potentially put chrome. I've added it.
It does shine.
It does shine, from door handles to rear lettering to actually even underneath the car is stainless steel exhaust.
And then how about the interior?
On the interior of the car, I've added a few things: carbon fiber dash. I've added special shift knob, and have done some specific interior painting to the middle console and shifter boot.
Now, powering the collector edition 96 C4 was an LT4 engine.
Was an LT4 engine.
Open her up.
The LT4 engine was the successor to the discontinued ZR1 engine, which Chevrolet produced up until '95.
And this was the only year for this engine?
For the Corvette.
This is really cool. Hey, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Maybe, we'll take it for a spin later. What do you say?
Okay.
All right. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
Our feature this week is about a '54 Buick Super Riviera, a truly modern post-war Buick that combined a beautiful Harley Earl studio design with an overhead valve engine. Today we're in Green Lake, Wisconsin on a gorgeous late autumn day with Jack Taylor. Jack, welcome to the show.
Oh, welcome to Green Lake,
Oh,
Dennis.
it's great to be here. And Jack's gorgeous '54 Buick Super Riviera. I love this car, Jack, but what I love about it particularly is this is an original unrestored car.
That's right. It's totally unrestored, just the way I found it.
And that's the other thing. You really lived every car guy's dream, the great
Car
find in the barn. Yeah. Well, so how'd you find it?
I went to an area car show, and there tucked in the refreshment stand was a cardboard flap from a box with a number and '54 Buick for sale, so I went down to the party's house, and this is what I found.
Man, and when you found it in this condition, how many miles?
It had 26,000 plus a few hundred.
26 and change. Boy,
That's
that is
right.
unbelievable. Can I look at the trunk of an
Sure,
original '54?
pop it up here.
That's like brand new.
Yeah, and as you can see, it's in really nice condition considering the fella never thought of it being a feature car, I'm sure.
Well, even U.S. Royal embossed on the spare. Oh, I love that. And a Kelsey Hayes wire wheel as a spare.
That's right. Now those Kelsey Hayes were standard on the Buick Skylark, but they were an option on the Super, the Century, and the Roadmaster.
Now '54 was kind of a change year. They got wider, they got squarer, they started to sprout fins.
Touch of the fins.
But this is a Riviera. That's one of the things that makes it special. A two-door hardtop.
They took the post away, and that made it a hardtop.
Yeah, they called them convertible hardtops originally just because you had this beautiful line of sight. But what a gorgeous interior. And red, black, and gray isn't what I'd normally think of with turquoise.
Well, red and turquoise were a popular color in the 50s. A lot of people are surprised to see the combination together, but you saw it on quite a few makes of cars. And
Just it is absolutely beautiful. 2-speed Dynaflow transmission, or also known as the Dynaslush.
That's right. It was a little slow on the takeoff, but if you want a power takeoff, you threw it into low and then shifted in the process.
But you see a lot of other Buick styling cues that started here and then just kept going for years and years. The high radius around the rear wheel, when everybody else was putting fender skirts on, Buick was showing that baby off.
They pulled that from their 53 Skylark, which had that exposed rear wheel, and that made this car very reminiscent of the Skylark.
And the sweep spear side trim was also very Buick. Of course, as we move forward, we have the portholes, the famous, or as Buick called them, the Ventaports.
Right, and that was a Buick insignia for many years to follow.
Oh, yeah. And
many years before.
Yeah, that's right. And then, of course, the other thing that was so Buick was the toothy grin up here in front, the inverted U and the vertical bars on the grill.
Kind of smiled at you when you saw it coming down the road.
It was a happy car, yep. Well, under the hood, I bet we've got the original 322
That's right.
Fireball V8.
322 cubic inch and 182 horsepower.
Now that's a 2-barrel carb, and if you put a 4-barrel on it, which the Roadmaster did, it took it up to an even 200.
That's right.
Now you've touched up the rocker covers, but those are the original decals.
Right, other than the little paint on the rocker covers because it had a few bare spots, the entire engine compartment is all original.
Well, the other way you can tell it's original is all the overspray and the caulking and stuff back there on the firewall. If it's been restored, they've taken that all away.
That's right, and when they restore cars, they do every nook and cranny, but when the manufacturer turned them off the line, they weren't quite so concerned with those things.
Well, now, Jack, you know, on the show, we really love to drive these cars. I know you don't have many miles, but can we put a few more on?
Well, let's do that.
Yes. Okay. Gulf turquoise. I love it. It's so 50s.
Yes, and this particular one was just a hue of turquoise that seems to catch everybody's eye. I get a lot of comments at car shows.
Well, let's Dynaflow.
And away we go.
And you're up to a whopping 31,000 miles now, eh?
Right. In fact, I drove it in the garage last year with 29,999.7 on, and I thought, well, maybe I'll just leave it there because there's something about turning that 30,000.
It really is amazing that the paint on that dash is just incredible. And the fact that this really isn't dented at all, which I would think would be, you know, all you have to do is cross your legs once and whap.
Yeah.
So this, from an option standpoint, this really had, I mean, it had the Kelsey Hayes, but which is a higher end option, but didn't go with either power steering or air conditioning.
Appearance, design.
Yes.